जल्दी देखिए वो यूज करेंगे आ जाएगा अभी बोल रहे हैं नो इनपुट आ गया ओके Did you get a mic? आप उनको mic दीजिए. You holding the mic or you want to call them?
Use chain. And that one. You check with that.
Ma'am,
Does it last? Charge will last?
first slide.
Now where it Vendas है 6 मिनट कर लो
Namaste, good morning, and very, very warm welcome to the Learning Matters School Leadership Summit on Recovering Learning Loss. I am Joshima, and I am your MC for today. Please gear up for a power-packed session filled with lots of learning and inspiration. And to begin the summit on an auspicious note, I would like to invite Ms. Samiksha and Mr. Gangadhar, as well as Mrs. Saraswati, co-founder and Chief Marketing Officer of Learning Matters, to light the lamp. Now, let me introduce you to Learning Matters, the host of today's event. Learning Matters is an education technology organization headquartered in Bengaluru. Their mission is to improve student learning outcomes by building teacher competency. We all know that if even a single teacher learns new skills, strategies, and ways to teach better, that teacher can positively influence hundreds and thousands of students. This is what Learning Matter does. They upskill teachers in such a way that the foundation of the school is strengthened multifold. Learning Matters trains teachers in the latest 21st century strategies and skills and provides the latest technology-based teaching tools to support teachers in reaching each and every student. And by strengthening the foundation, that is teachers, they have already impacted over 35,000 learners across many states in India. And here is the power-packed agenda for today. We start with winning pedagogy strategies, move on to building foundational literacy skills, and then have the certificate award ceremony. After that, we open up the AI-driven English Lab Experience Centers and then move into lunch and networking. Now, I would like to invite Mrs. Gauri Mahesh, co-founder and Chief Operating Officer of Learning Matters, to talk about StarTeacher, a unique teacher training program.
Thank you, Joshua. Very good morning to all of you, and very happy to have you with us over here. Thank you for taking your time off and visiting us and being with us over here. We promise you a good 2 hours of fun and learning, and you will definitely be very happy at the end of the day when you realize how much we've all been able to learn together. Like with any other program in whether it's a school or a symposium like this, college, anywhere, even in our personal lives, I personally believe that change happens when we all learn something. When there is a true learning that's happening, then we all attempt to change for the better. And that's exactly what we do with our StarTeacher programs. Like Yoshima rightly said, when one teacher is in a class, he or she is able to influence multiple sets of children. What the kind of influence that a teacher has on children is something that's very, very evident. Examples are like at home, my son probably wouldn't listen to me, but then he will listen to the teacher in the classroom, right? So that's the kind of influence a teacher has on every child. You're probably a child is not listening to you. That's the kind of power a teacher has. Let's see what our StarTeacher program does. So we do our professional development programs for teachers, which is a year-long program. We do this in a blended manner with both online as well as on-site programs. The online programs became more, I would say, interesting, especially after COVID, because everybody understood how to work in an online mode. And what's interesting now is that schools have asked us not to do online programs. They say we're tired of online, please come to our school. We are very happy to do that. And my team is more than happy to go into the school and start interacting with teachers. So we do this day in and day out. We do this irrespective of whether it's a Saturday, Sunday, or a holiday. So we love doing this, and you will see why we love doing this in the next 5 minutes. Our programs cover classroom management strategies, teaching strategies, assessment strategies, and remediation strategies. So we believe that these are all fundamental things that everybody has to know. And every teacher does know this. It's not that it's new to them. We've all done programs in BEd, or we've done some diploma programs, everything. But what happens is that over a period of time, there is no reinforcement. There is no exchange of ideas that happen. If you look at the medical fraternity, there is a continuous evaluation or an examination that doctors will have to take up. Unfortunately, teachers don't have anything like that. We start our career as a teacher, and then we just left to us to probably come up with new ideas on how to manage children in the classroom. Each year, the set of children are different. And when these children, when you try to manage these children, you need better ideas. I'm very sure many of you who've taught for more than 10, 15 years will agree that children who you taught 15 years back and who you're teaching now, they're very, very different, right? So every year we need more ideas. Our StarTeacher program does exactly that. A lot of exchange of ideas, and we bring to table a lot of mentorship with teachers. We just don't give ideas and go away. We mentor teachers so that they're able to explain how you are able to roll out these ideas in the classroom. So that's what makes us very, very different. We have our programs work for teachers across boards. We are board agnostic. We don't really bother whether it's a CBSE, state board, ICSE, IGCSE, IB. everything is a curriculum. A curriculum has a certain defined set of learning objectives that need to be covered. But ultimately, it's a teacher who's addressing the students. So we do believe that any strategy that works for a CBSE teacher will work for a state board teacher as well. There's nothing wrong with that. But then how we implement it in the classroom probably differs. So that's exactly what we do in our training programs. We customize it as per the boards, for the teachers across grades and subjects. There are about probably thousands of strategies that we bring to table, thousands of ideas that we bring to table during these programs. I will now invite my dear colleague Nisha. She is our expert in the teacher training programs. And Nisha is going to take us through a few very exciting pedagogy strategies that we can implement in the classroom. It could be something that's very new to you. It could be something that you already know, but you might get a new idea from this. So sit back, as they say in Indigo Airlines, sit back, relax, and be ready to take on this wonderful session from Nisha. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Very good morning to all of you. Hope you are doing well with health and full of energy. I'm Nisha, and yeah, what a wonderful slide we have on the board. Magic wand or magicians. We are all are magicians in front of our kids, in their thoughts, in their ideas, and even in parents' minds. Teachers are the magicians. So, what is that we do to them? It is something which cannot even be put into words. It is something which has to be experienced by each person, each individual. So, right now, in all our minds, something or the other, some or the other wish is there in us, which we all would want to realize at some point of time, and it has not yet been realized. It is there in each one of us. So, being educationists, all of us are educationists here. Some of us are teachers, some of us are in the management level, some of us are principals, and we would want to bring about some change in the education system, what is happening right now. So let's consider the mind I hold in hand as the magic wand. Okay, so if you are given this magic wand, what change would you want to bring in your education system which is prevailing? Take a moment to think about it. So, ma'am, what change would you want to bring in this magic wand?
Of course, the students are really brilliant. By birth, they are brilliant. Just the reinforcement is needed. So we want to bring that change.
Very good. Please say your name.
As I told, Vijayalakshmi Bhatt.
Very nice to know about your wish. It's really a wonderful wish. I hope children also do listen to your wish. Yeah. Sir, what is that one wish you would want to do?
I would wish that children be able.
The magic wand is to go to your hand. So, what would be your wish?
I would make students first ask many questions and explore the things.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Your name, please.
I'm Escom.
Thank you. Okay, and you get the magic wand, huh? What is your wish?
Thank you. If I were had a magic wand, I would have cancelled exams and studies right to the second standard. And I think writing and academics should only start at the third standard level. And the kids should only be exploring, experimenting, playing, and learning things that way.
Wonderful, wonderful. Your name, please.
Shilpa.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. And let me take one more wish.
Thank you, ma'am. I wish that when whatever the teachers are teaching, it should be a long-lasting memory to the students.
Very good. Your name, please.
To be present.
Thank you so much. Thank you, all of you who have voiced out your wish, and those of us who have kept our wish within us. I wish you the very best and hope that your wishes come true within a very short span. We all are here for a common agenda, that is to recover the learning loss which has been happening with our students So we always striving in and out to bring about a change in this system. So let's see what is the topic for the day. So the topic for the day itself is recovering learning loss and through winning pedagogy strategies. So I would want to start this session by breaking down these terms which is written on the board into smaller bits and pieces and then looking at it from where should we begin to bring about this recurring learning loss plan. So when we talk about the pedagogy strategies, what is this pedagogy? What is pedagogy as a word or as a term? Teaching method. So pedagogy is a method of teaching. So what is teaching? Teaching is a profession, right? We teach to implement knowledge, to impart knowledge, and teaching is a process. So this process involves a lot of strategies, planning, and all these in it. So pedagogy talks about this. Pedagogy is also called as the science and art of teaching. So why is it science of teaching? Because it talks about the knowledge which is required for imparting this knowledge, and it also talks about the implementation strategies. What all, in what all ways we can impart this knowledge to our learners. So it is also called as the art of teaching because we understand that art is something which we demonstrate. Like we perform, art is something which we perform for somebody to visualize and understand and to enjoy, right? So our learner is also actually visualizing whatever we are teaching. They should be able to enjoy it. So art of teaching then becomes part of pedagogy because we are carrying out these strategies to implement knowledge in our learners. So pedagogy is the way of teaching, art of teaching, and science of teaching. So when we come to what is pedagogical approaches, pedagogical approaches are we know that there is some fundamental knowledge which is required, and we also know certain levels at each point of time. So when we put all these together, there are different instructional strategies which we would be using to impart certain concepts. So the compilation of these instructional strategies and the plan together, I would like to just give a small intro on this case. This case is about a general situation in and of what we visualize in any common way in us. So he is a citizen of the society, and the three who are standing there represent a person Geeta, named Geeta. So Geeta is observing what Ravi does, and the way she reacts at different stages is what we are going to observe in this case. Let's continue.
ಇದ್ ನೋಡಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಗಲೀಜ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ. ಡಸ್ಟ್ಬಿನ್ ಸುತ್ತಲೂ ಕಸ ಬಿದ್ದಿದೆ. ಯಾರು ತೆಗ್ದೇ ಇಲ್ವಲ್ಲ ಕಸ. ಇನ್ನ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಇದೆ.
The first time when Geeta saw this, what Ravi did, she only thought and walked off. What happened in the second time, we all witnessed. She not just thought, but she has picked the paper and put it into the bin.
ಎಷ್ಟು ಕಸ ಇದೆ ನೋಡಿ ತಿರ್ಗಾ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಡಸ್ಟ್ಬಿನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕೋ ಬದಲು ಆಚೆ ಹಾಕ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿ, ಅವ್ರು ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದಾರೆ ಹಂಗೇನೆ. ಬನ್ನಿ ಬನ್ನಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಇದು ಕಸ ಡಸ್ಟ್ಬಿನ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ, ಪೂರ್ತಿ ಸುತ್ತಲೂ ಆಚೆ ಹಾಕಿದಿರಲ್ಲ.
So this time what has happened? What has happened? She brought the awareness. She brought the awareness in the person. Wow. What happened just now? Calls for an What did happen just now?
This has
The person. Yes, sir. Correct?
awareness which was wrong has been proclaimed.
Yes. The awareness which was brought has been shared. I would like to call all of them back here. That was a wonderful skit. Oscar winning acting. So, yeah. So here, what we just saw is what we are all familiar with, the three terms which we go in and out during our teaching pedagogy learning process, right? Cognitive domain, psychomotor domain, and affective domain. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. So here,
Yes.
so I'd like to connect this skit to our three learning domains. What are the famous educationist, psychologist Benjamin Bloom has brought in. So he says learning goes and resides in three domains. Domains is nothing but the place of residence in any learner, right? So in the cognitive domain, that is in the mental level, where the child or the learner or even any person, individual for that matter, understands the knowledge and he or she has the ability to intellectually debate on it at the mind level. That is our cognitive domain. And the next domain is the psychomotor domain. The psychomotor domain helps us to work on our motor skills to the knowledge what we have gained. So this is the next level, the next area in which our learning gets imparted. So not just understanding it here, but acting on it. So this acting will be the psychomotor domain. And the third domain into which the learning should happen is the affective domain. Affective domain is nothing but the emotional connect we have with what we learn. So if we don't have emotional connect, we may behave in a very rash, random behavior can be observed. So it is not the right way to approach it, any situation or any place in any place. Or you might see that sometimes people are being very rash and they don't know how to go. Because it is all because they are not organized in their thoughts, how to behave, what to talk, isn't it? So this type particular awareness in us is brought in the psychomotor domain. So now, when the development happens equally in cognitive domain, psychomotor domain, and the affective domain, is when we say the holistic development in a child is completely with the complete development in a child happens. So why have we brought this back here again, despite knowing all this? It is because, as I said, learning loss has to be recovered. And where do we start with recovering? How do we start, or where do we start with recovering this? We need to know exactly where to touch in the beginning. So there are various strategies being discussed across the country, across the globe. So most importantly, what we as teachers or educators feel is somewhere we are giving them enough knowledge through online platforms. No, we are taking the content, we are showing them what is happening or what is related to the content. Everything we are being able to impart it online, but only a minimal amount is going into the receiver side. Even when we perform some activities related to the content or the concept, some of them do it very productively, some they do not participate the way we want. Why does this happen? It is because of the loss of connect. Do you agree with me? Those of us who agree with me, please raise your hand. The loss of connect between the learner and the teacher somewhere is the main cause. So which domain should we actually touch upon first when they come back? Pardon? Cognitive is the learning, is the knowledge imparting domain. Psychomotor is the activity or the psychomotor affective domain. And affective is the emotional connect being created. So where do we start? Affective domain. Thank you so much. So affective domain will be the topic on which we will discuss little bit elaborately today. So how can we? What does affective domain do? We all so it would help us connect a bit, or it would help us bridge the gap between us and the learner. So once they feel connected to us, whatever we say, it would reach to them at a greater level. So what are the different levels of affective domain? So the different level goes like this, from the lower level to the higher level. So we need the learner to achieve all the levels. But again, it is a process. So the first level of the affective domain being the receiving skills. There are various skills in this, and these skills are what we call as levels. The first level is the receiving skills. It is in this receiving skills, a learner begins to receive what we say. Whatever we are talking to them, whatever we explain to them, are they receiving it in the right manner? So basically, we are here stressing upon the listening skills in the learner. So a learner should have a right sense of listening. What to listen? Selective listening is very, very important. So when he listens, he will start respecting what is being said to him. So next is the responding skills. So once he has the receiving or receiving skills, the next level is when the child reaches to the responding to what he has listened. So how does he respond? The way he responds basically shows his ability to respond and his willingness also to respond. And also, if he responds in the right manner, he will be able to he would be able to participate in the class or in the discussion. Suppose a child is sitting quietly in the class. That means somewhere the child has not understood what we are talking. So the responding skills have still not completely developed in the kid. So what we have to do is we have to bring in some activities which will kindle that urge in the child to respond to our class. So this is what we talk about building responding skills in the child, where the child begins to respond to what he is receiving. Third is valuing skills. Here in valuing skills, the child would actually connect anything we say to some value. So when he values whatever he's learning, he would start thinking or he would start feeling for what he's seeing around. So here what will happen is the learner will start becoming sensitive towards his surroundings, towards his peer group, towards the nature, towards animals. The being sensitive towards all this would really help the learner to act in a particular way, in a very developed manner. So this is the valuing skills being the mid-level of cognitive skills. So we can further go ahead and work upon the development of the cognitive skills by taking them to the organization skills. So organization skills is where the learner would develop the organization skills itself. What is organization skills? We have certain tasks to do. In what order we do? What is the time limit we set for the task? Are we able to achieve that in the within the limited time? These are the skills which we would exhibit if we have good organization skills. This is not just in a learner. We ourselves can relate to what we are talking about organization skills. Many of us would plan to go for a morning walk. Okay, first day we would go. Second day we would go. Third day there is a rain. Then we would say, okay, today we'll let it go. Third day goes. Fourth day, yesterday's rain, there would be some effect still there. Am I right? Then fourth day goes, fifth day goes. Then it takes again 3 months to come back to the previous plan. So I'm like that. I think most of us are like this here. Okay. So the ones who are not like this and continue to do that, know that your organization skills are way above my organization. So this is organization skills, and then we have the topmost level of achieving the effective skills, effective domain, that is the characterization skills. So this is very, very important as an individual, as a person in the society, because the feeling of empathy in us is very, very important when we talk to people. The way we respond to people, it is very, very important that we stand in their shoes and we understand their pain and agony, or the way which they feel for that situation. So characterization builds that particular skill in us to look at things in a wider perspective rather than self-perspective. So So this is what we are achieving to aim, we are aiming to achieve from our learners, the characterization skill. So these are the various levels of affective domain. So I wish we quickly break out of this, because the next is we are going to discuss about some activities which we will be able to do it in our class, so that we can help the learners achieve each level. So few of the examples I will be discussing with you, and you would be able to add on with all your experience. So some of the examples might be known to you. Yeah. So if we all are done, we will be moving on to our skill-based activities. So what? No. So we all know receiving skills, what it is, responding skills, what it is. We have just discussed. See, we already know this, as we said here. We already know all these things. Somewhere during the planning, during the process of teaching, or during the stress and the workload we have during the academic year, we tend to forget that if we follow this particular level in a hierarchy, in the same hierarchy, we would be able to achieve better. So that somewhere is testing our organization skills again. So to achieve the receiving skills, we could conduct debates and quizzes in the class. So what happens is, you can break the class into two groups and then give them any topic, random topic, conduct a 5 minute debate. It's not required that you have to wait for debate competition, inter-school debate competition or inter-school debate competition. It's not required. On a daily basis, pick up some topic which is happening around the world, and then divide them into two groups and ask them to talk to and against the topic, so that children who are not aware of the topic come to know about the topic, and also they will see, we are going to run this activity over 10 days. You can imagine how many topics we will cover, and it is also a good icebreaker to begin our class. And quizzes also is the same. Like if a child would have to answer, the child should first listen. So the listening skills is developed here, which we are already doing. But are we looking at the output? Is the question here. Second is responding skills. For responding skills, we can conduct mock drills on fire, or some mock drills where the child would have like he would get an opportunity to respond. So we can also conduct lessons with games, like a minute to minute. So give them time-bound activities, time-bound questions, and thereby the child has very little time to respond, and there is no way the child cannot respond for the given task. So next is valuing skills. To develop valuing skills in the child, we can conduct activities like weaving a story. So you initiate a story and then let the child in the front row continue with the story by adding 2 or 3 words to the story. So that by the end of the class, a complete story is formulated there. Once the story is done, we could ask the learners what all moral values have been exhibited. So at this point, some of us may feel that, yeah, although we started with this activity, children were not serious, they did not complete it in the manner which I wanted, which I expected. So that also could be taken as an value-based activity. See, you had this time, you did not use it properly. So the end of it was, because we did not value time, we could not get any output from this particular activity. So every activity we conduct, just connecting to some value or the other, that itself would inculcate value in the learner. Then think, pair, share is another activity which we can conduct in the class. So we can again break the class into 2 or more groups and give them topics where they think, and then the points they would collect it, and then they share among themselves and they share it in the whole class. So here they would start respecting and also taking in new ideas from others, not just theirs. Then we have the organization skills. Organize our skills better. We can collect jigsaw puzzles where children reassemble the puzzle board, and through that they find out some answers or question related activities, and treasure hunts can be conducted. The treasure hunt is again, it is in a certain order where the child would have to think and approach it. Then we have the characterization skills. To develop this, we could conduct whose shoes are these. You could dramatize or you could narrate some story, and then ask the learner, if you were in this particular character, how would you respond to the situation? Or what would be your view about this particular character? It may not be dramatization all the time. We can even call upon some topic, or we can ask, what is your outlook about this? So this would kindle the child into thinking in diverse manner and also from others' point of view. And also creative character creations is one more activity which we could use to develop characterization. So here, creative character creations, we had like participated in the magic wand activity where we ourselves turned as magicians. Like then you can give them some character role in which they can do something which is not possible otherwise, and make them talk about what they would want to do, or things like it is an animated character, how they would respond in that particular character. So something out of the way. You can also talk about their parents or relatives, so that they get into the character and think for them. So these are the different activities which we could conduct. So I please go back to the slide one. So these are the list of activities. I would want you to write down 2 activities into your notebook now, which you feel that you will be able to take it back to the school and conduct it among your learners. And if you feel these, but any one or two of these activities really worked out, we would like to know about how it went on. Most of the activities, some of you might feel we are already doing, but still, from this perspective, once again we do it and we see how we get the result. So let's change to go to the next slide. So what will you do to bring about a change in the way children respond, or to develop the affective domain in a child? This is the question. So we all have, in one voice, understood that we have to work upon the affective domain in the beginning, and then we can channelize our energy toward the other domains, developing other domains in the learners. So what are we as an individual going to do towards that? Okay, this is the question I would want to ask. Moving ahead, like we have a well-developed plan with us. We have the content with us. We know what to teach. We have the strategies. We have made the tools. Everything is ready with us. We take it to the class. Do you think, or do you have you experienced that all the learners in the class have learned it in the same manner? How many of you disagree that they all have learned it in the same manner? How many of you disagree? The question is little twisted. How many of you disagree that all the learners have learned it in the same manner? Please put it up properly, because they have learned it halfway through. I am okay with it. Okay, done. Right. Now, why is that? Why is that? Yeah, very good. Different children learn in different ways. We have different learning styles and we have different learners. So at this given point of time, we all think we have different thoughts. So our children are also like that, and their learning styles are different. Let's quickly do a small activity. You will be given a questionnaire, and we'll be expected to complete the questionnaire in 5 minutes time, and we'll talk about it after that. All the best. Read the question thoroughly, and no copy. There is no right answer, wrong answer. So feel free to complete the paper. 1 minute left. Tick tick 5, tick tick 4, tick tick 3, tick tick 2, tick tick 1, and we stop. I hope all of you could answer all the questions.
Yes.
The questionnaire is to be with you. You can all have it. And I just want you to quickly calculate how many A's, how many B's, and how many C's you have done a tick mark, and write it in the box below very quickly. And those of us who have done it, one among you or all of those, no, not just one. I want all of those who have got more number of A's to raise your hand now. Option A, how many of you have picked more in number? Okay. Sir has picked more number of A's. More number of B's. How many of us have tick mark more number of B's? Now can I take the numbers? How many of you have tick mark more number of A's? Please raise your hand. Okay, sir, thank you. How many of us have finished the paper? Please raise your hand. Okay. That is it. Yeah, how many of us are having more number of B's? Only one hand there. Yeah, and how many of us have picked up more number of C's? Okay, okay. So any idea what this questionnaire was, and how many of you have picked up equal number of A's and equal number of B's and equal number of C's? Anybody? Very good, very good. Yeah, very good, sir. Okay, so there is a hidden reason behind this questionnaire. Did you come across that reason? What would this questionnaire help us identify?
Sort of person we are.
What type of a person we are? Any other answers?
How do we learn and grasp things?
How do we learn and grasp things? Very good. That is the answer I am looking for. So I will not ask any more answers due to the time limit also. So we are looking for what type of learners and what type of learning styles we have in our class. I have just picked 3 learning styles, and those are the visual style of learning, auditory style learning, and kinesthetic style learners in our class. So you could add on more options and try to figure out other styles which are there in our classroom. And here, people who have put up their hands for option A, you are more inclined to as a visual learner. And those of us who have got more number of B, we are inclined as auditory learners. And the more number of C's, whoever has got, we are inclined towards the kinesthetic learning style. And if we have got all the 3 in equal numbers, we have a good balance of all the 3 learning styles. So the different activities which you could conduct in the class for visual learners are graphs, then you have illustrations, videos, pictures, articles, etc. You could do this and see who all submits this first. And for auditory, it is one-on-one conversations, videos, group discussions, oral presentations, podcasts, etc. And for kinesthetic, hands-on activities, role plays, note taking, etc. These are to reach out to the kinesthetic learners in our class. Now, my question is, does our learning style impact our teaching style? We all have understood our learning style now. When we are planning out activities, do we get inclined towards our learning style? Is that the reason there is a gap between the learners and the teacher imparting the class? Is that the reason? If so, we have to work on it. So I would want to wind up by asking you these three questions. So, do we provide enough opportunities for our learners for progressive interaction? Do we provide enough opportunities to our learners for progressive interaction? Does our learning style play a role in our teaching style? If so, what should we do about it? What would be the best teaching style we must adapt for inclusive learning environment? So these are the questions I would want to leave you all with. I wish you all take these questions back and rework on what we are doing right now and see if we can bring some change about whatever challenges we are at present facing. So I would like to wrap up this session by applauding all of us by telling that we have achieved 30 in 30. So 30 topics in 30 minutes is what we have discussed here. And this list of topics, what we have discussed, will be given to you as handout. And imagine in 30 minutes, we could discuss about 30 topics, then 30 hours of our StarTeacher program. How many topics, how much of learning, and how many tools and techniques we could learn. That is where I would want to wind up our session with. And also, for each of these topics, we have come up with beautiful videos, and you could please go to our YouTube channel and look into for those videos here and get ideas as to how to implement each of these in your classes. Thank you so much. Hope you had a productive time with me, and I enjoyed working as a good audience. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mrs. Nisha. 30 takeaways in just 30 minutes. I have never attended a session where I have learned so much so quickly. I wish that I had been exposed to some of these strategies as a student. I am sure many of our audience members today will be very eager to implement such techniques in your schools. Thank you for that wonderful session, Mrs. Nisha. Please speak to the Learning Matters team, Mr. Anand, Mr. Ravi, Mr. Sangamesh, and Mrs. Gauri to know more about StarTeacher. And for more quick but important takeaways that your teachers can implement in their classrooms, please subscribe to the Learning Matters YouTube channel called Teaching Matters. These free videos created exclusively for educators focus on important teaching strategies as well as spoken English mini lessons. The channel has more than 1K subscribers, which means that thousands of schools are already learning and taking advantage of these videos. So please ensure you do too. To subscribe, please point your phone's QR code scanner towards this QR code, or if your phone's camera automatically reads QR codes, you can point your camera towards it. If you cannot read this QR code with your phone, please type this link in your browser or search for Teaching Matters in YouTube.
Able to pick it up, QR code. You just hold, if you have a QR code scanner in your phone, you just hold it, it'll automatically take you to the channel. But if there is too much distance, we can always help you with this at the end of the program, so not to worry. You can also go to that link, subscribe Learning Matters. So if you go to YouTube, just type Teaching Matters there, and you will see our matters there. and you will see our logo. You will know it is us. You can subscribe.